Welcome back, Artinvaders, and maybe you saw it already on social media, the Nokia cell phone hype. In today's tutorial, we create a Nokia cell phone from scratch, we will apply realistic materials, and we explore advanced animation techniques. We melt the Nokia cell phone in front of your eyes, and we also apply animations to the display of the phone.
It was your biggest wish how to do it. Now you will know it.
Let's get started.
The 3D objects.
Find the code in the video and get project files. Be quick, Artinvaders. The files are only freely available for 24 hours after the video release. Alright, let's start with the tutorial. First we switch in the 4-view window, here on the top, and change in the front view. Here we insert now an image of the Nokia cell phone. You find the image on my Patreon, link is in the caption. Drag and drop the image inside of Cinema 4D, and let's start with the main body of the cell phone. Add a cube and rescale it to the size of the image. These are my scale values. Change now also the segments to 3, 6 and 1 so that we can better transform the mesh. To transform the whole body, we have to create first a current state object. You can delete the main cube and rename it so that you don't get confused later on. Because we have points in the front and on the back side of the cube, we have to choose the rectangle selection to select both points on both sides at the same time. We go now here to the point selection on the top, and here's also the symmetrical button. And if you select now the point here on the top, change the point position until you get the shape from the Nokia cell phone. Alright, so that looks good. In the next step, we add the subdivision surface, put the main body under it, and as you can see, the edges are not right. You can select the whole line and bring it up until the edges fits perfectly to the shape of the image. And repeat it also here on the other side. Select the whole line, all points, and move it down until it fits. Perfect. When we go now to the main view, we have this shape. I think it's a little bit too thick. You can go now under coordinates from the subdivision surface and we scale it down to 0.8 in Z. Now it's right. Okay, switch back here to the front view. Make the main body invisible with these 2 points. And the next step, we create the display. For this, we need again a cube. Rescale it also to the size of the display image. These are my scale values. And here we need segments X for, Y also for, and Z1 is right. Alright, now we create again a current state object so that we can transform the cube. Delete the main cube and go to the point selection, take again the rectangle tool and bring the points to the right position. Alright, now we use again a subdivision surface and select again the lines inside of the cube and switch the position until it fits to our image. Perfect. Rename it and make it also invisible. In the next step, we create the 2 buttons here. Go back here in the model mode on the top, add again a cube, rescale it to the size, the button shape, to something like this. These are my scale values. And for segments, we use for X2, for Y2, and Z is right. Okay, create again a current state object, delete the main cube, go back here to the point mode, rectangle tool, and switch the position of the points to the shape of the button. But here you have to deselect the symmetrical button so that we can really transform all points until it fits. Alright, that looks good. Now we add again a subdivision surface, put the cube under it, and change again the position until it fits. You can also use the center point to fix the shape better. Alright, in the next step, we insert a symmetrical and we put our cube under it without the subdivision surface. Select it and press connect object plus delete. Change here again the position of the points for the second button. That looks good. And use now again the subdivision surface, put the buttons under it and transform again the points until it fits. Alright, perfect. Rename it and make it again invisible. In the next step, recreate the buttons in the middle of the phone, the whole line. And for this, we need a cylinder. Change first orientation to +Z and rescale it to the size of the button. Alright, these are my scale values. Here we also change height segments to 5 and rotation segments to 10. And now we transform the whole shape under the coordinates tag and the scale values. These are my scale values. Alright, and now we repeat the whole process. Create a current state object, delete the main object, insert a subdivision surface, put the cylinder under it, and transform now the shape. And don't forget to press the symmetrical button again, and use the rectangle tool. And here we only have to transform these points on the ground. That looks good. To duplicate the buttons, we use the cloner tool. Put the subdivision surface under it. Select the cloner. Go under Object. Under Clones, we choose Linear. And under Position Y, -40. And under Count, we need 4 buttons. Perfect. Rename it. Copy and paste it. Rename it. Go back in the model mode. Take the Move tool and move it to the side. Alright. Select now the cylinder. Go back in the point mode and change the position of the points. Here you have to deselect symmetrical again and take the rectangle tool and move the points. And as you can see, all other points get automatically also transformed in this line. So as you can see, the line is not really straight. To fix it, go under the cloner, go to Step Rotation B and choose minus. In the next step, we use again the Symmetry tool, put the buttons line left under it, and now they get also generated on the other side. Alright, in the next step, go back here in the model mode and switch a little bit the position of the buttons, like this. Alright, as you can see, the buttons don't fit perfectly on the image, but you see the axis cross is perfectly centered in the middle of our scene. And when you put also the main object in it, you have the grid. The buttons are on the same position, so you know the image is not really right symmetrical in this case. We are right art invaders. Alright, make everything invisible. So we need buttons middle and we create the main button here. For this, duplicate it, make the one invisible. Here we only need the subdivision with the cylinder. The cloner you can delete, select it, move it to the top, go back to the point selection, select the cylinder, and first we rescale it from the size. 2.1 in X is right. Now you can select these points here on the top, switch the position, select now only these in the middle to bring them up. Alright, and now we have the shape. Make the button invisible. Now we create the most complicated part of this project, the frame around the display. It's important that you are in the point mode here on the top. And now we use the polygon pen on the side and put some points like the frame, but only the half frame, because in the end we use also the symmetrical tool to generate the other half. Alright, when you're on the top, you have to create the frame on the other side. Alright, when you are here in the end, connect the both points, switch now back in the main window, and we have our 3D object. So in the next step, we add thickness. Go now here on the top to the area selection, select the whole area, use now here on the left side the thickness tool, press somewhere in the scene and drag it to create our 3D object. That looks good. In the next step, we go in the model mode on the top and we use the symmetry tool. Put the frame under it and now we have our perfect frame. As you can see, some points are not fit. Go back here to the point mode, take the rectangle selection and fix them. Alright, so now we can select the whole frame, go to connect object plus delete. Alright, go now in the edges selection, take the select tool, select something, press Command A to select everything, and press Command to deselect the edges inside of our frame. Don't forget the other side, okay, and the top. That looks good. Take now the bevel tool on the left side and bevel the whole frame. Perfect. Now we will remesh the whole frame. There are sometimes some issues and Cinema 4D crashed. So save the file, switch now back to the model mode and take the volume builder and volume mesher. Put the builder under it and the frame under the volume builder. Select now the volume builder, go under object and change the voxel size until the frame fits. 1.5 looks for the beginning good. Press also SDF smooth and now we have our perfect frame. Can also change again the voxel size. Yeah, that looks good. Select now everything from volume measure to frame and press connect object plus delete. Alright, rename it, make it invisible, change back to the front view. Now we create the Nokia logo. I found the Nokia logo as SVG file in the internet. You find it also on my Patreon. Link is in the caption. You can drag and drop the image inside of Cinema 4D. A new project open, copy it, switch back to our main project, paste it here inside. Now we have the logo. Rescale it with the height value until it fits. Here you can also extrude the depth. We take 2 and we go under caps and we bevel the edges by 0.2. Perfect. In the next step, we create the speaker on the top. For this, we need a cylinder. Bring it up, change the orientation to +Z and rescale it. These are my values and we increase height segments to 30 and rotation segments also to 30. We go also under caps to round the edges by pressing the fillet button. Perfect. Here we use again the cloner. Put the cylinder under it, go to cloner, change in the linear mode. The cylinders are now here on the ground. Change count to 5 and position Y to 15. That looks good. So we also have to create the hole. Here we use again a cylinder. Bring it up, go under the object tag. These are my values and we change also the scale under coordinates Z by 2. Alright, so now we create all holes on the main body, make the main body visible again, switch back and add a bool. Put the main body under it and also the new created cylinder. Bring it to the front and now we have the hole. And we also have to go back here under this cylinder, go under caps and press also fillet to round the edges, of course. Okay, we also copy and paste the display, make it visible again and put it also here in the bool tool. Bring it to the front to create the display hole. And we repeat it for the buttons on the keyboard. Alright, that looks good. And make now everything visible and put it to the right position. Alright, we are almost ready. Take now a null object, select all elements and put it under it and make it invisible. And now we go back to the front view. In the end, we add the numbers and the font on the keyboard. For this, go under text, insert a text, bring it down, write 1 in the object tag. Under font, we use the bunch font. You find it also on my Patreon to download. Here we changed also height to 13 and switch the position. Later you can copy and paste the numbers and switch here the other numbers. To create this sign I used O, stroke O from the keyboard. You can create all signs here on the keyboard with the keyboard. And yeah, copy and paste also the numbers. Right now ABC. And for the font here we use Arial. And here we change the height to 9. And repeat it also for all other buttons. Alright, when you're ready, create a new null object and put all numbers and font inside. Go back in the main view, make the whole cell phone visible again and bring the numbers and letters to the front. Alright, that looks good. The signs here on the ground we don't need all because from this point the whole animation gets melted.
And the Lazy Award goes to Artinvader.
So we also have to create a cube for this button. Create it, rescale it. These are my values. Bring it to the front and press fillet to round the edges. Perfect. So now we also add a backdrop for our project. You have it in Cinema 4D as a preset. Bring it to the right position. Go under coordinates and rescale it by 5 in all axes. Here it's important that the edge is directly behind the cell phone. And in the end, recreate the melting plastic. For this, we need a meta ball and select a sphere, put it under it, bring it to the ground and rescale it to a smaller size. And then copy and paste the sphere, bring it to the side. And as you can see, the spheres are connected. Copy and paste it so much and how much you ever want. And when you're ready, select the spheres and change all positions a little bit to make it more fluid. Now you can also go under meta ball and here you can increase the subdivision viewport, something like this. Under coordinates, we change Y to 0.5, bring it down and play around with the values so that you get different shapes inside of the melting object. And that's it for the 3D object part. Do you want the whole project file?
You can have it.
With over 70 other files that we have already created together, guys. You can find them on my Patreon, link is in the caption.
The materials.
Now you can download all HDRI maps and textures for the material part.
Go, go, go. Download it.
And let's move on with the tutorial. Alright, now we came to the cool part, the material part. And I already inserted the camera. These are my position and rotation values if you want to use the same. Under the render settings, I changed the format to 1080 by 1350 pixels. And now we can start with the materials. Open the render view, put it here to the side and open the material manager. And let's start with the lighting. We use the dome light. Go under object, press add graph and then the folder icon. And then you can insert the HDRI map from my Patreon. Alright, under coordinates you can change the position of the HDRI map. Here I choose 36 degrees and let's start with the first material. Double click in the material window, drag and drop it on the backdrop. Open it. Here we choose for metalness 0.5 and for roughness also 0.5. And now we work with a color ramp. Search for ramp, connect it with color and also here with the material and we need the emission color. Select the material, go now under emission and increase the value by 2. Now we change the colors from the color ramp. This is my gradient. If you want to use the same colors, this is my color code for the light blue. And this is my color code for the dark blue. Alright, the gradient is the wrong direction. Press invert. And now we are right. Here you can also change the position. Here's a value around 68. Really good. And we are ready with the backdrop. Alright, in the next step, we create the material for the main body of the cell phone. And for this, we need the preset material. You can find it here on the top and press material. Open it. And now you have the option to change your preset. Here we use plastic and don't forget to drag and drop it on the main body, of course. Here we change roughness to 0.4. And we also work here with a ramp and also with Fresnel. Connect everything with each other. And now we change again the gradient of the color ramp. Alright, these are my colors. If you want to use the same, this is the first color code and this one is the second color code. Here we also change the position of this color, something around 5. In the next step, we create the silver material. Copy and paste the material and drag and drop it on the frame. on the buttons and also on this buttons. Perfect. Open the material. Here we change to the silver preset. We change roughness to 0.5 and under the color ramp we change this color to black and this color to white. Perfect. Alright, now we create a black material for all numbers and signs on the keyboard and also for the speakers. Open the new material, choose a dark gray. This is my color code, and here we also change roughness to 1. Perfect. So the silver material that we already created, put it also on the Nokia logo, and we create now a new material, and this is for the blue detail on the main button. On the cube, open it, change the color to blue. If you want to use the same color, this is my color code, and we change roughness to 0.2. And in the next step, we create the fluid material. Create a new material, open it, and here double click in the window, go to all materials, and here we use a wax material preset. Double click on it and the material is created here in the window. This material you can delete, drag and drop it on the melted plastic. Here we change roughness to 0.1 and search for ramp and Fresnel. Connect it this way. Go now under ramp and change the colors. This is my color code for the first color and this is the color code for the green color. Here we also change again the positions. Here we use 2.5 and here we use 11. Alright, as you can see the color don't change. Go here to the material and let's see where the color is in this preset. It's under subsurface. So connect it here with the material. Go under subsurface and to color and also to subsurface and radius. Alright, so we go also here to the gradient and here we change to radial. Alright, in the next step we also have to deform the meta balls. Connect object plus delete. Take now the displacer, put it under it. Take now the displacer, go under object. Here we change the height to 21. Go now under shading, insert noise, double click on the image. Here we change to VL noise. And as you can see, the material get directly a new effect and looked really realistic. Under global scale, we also change the value to 1600 and we play also with the scale values 97, 60, 74 and we go under cycles and here we choose the value of 1. Yeah, global scale, play around with the values. Maybe a different value is better. Yeah, something like this. Alright. And in the end, we create the animated display material. And I want to show you short how I did it. You can of course download the whole animation from my Patreon already animated, but I started with this image from the internet and I used the free software CapCut. You can drag and drop the image in the program, then in the second window, and now you can insert effects. I started with the free effect opening and closing, and here's the fade in effect. Press the plus icon to insert it. And now it's animated. And then you can also go under glitch effect and you can insert some glitch effects that you want to use for the project. Effects are only free where the pro version is now written. But you have a lot of effects you can choose. And when you're ready, you go under File, Export, and then you can export the file as a video. Alright, and to insert an animation in Cinema 4D, you need a video as PNG sequence. That means your whole video are all images. And to generate PNG sequences, you have to take your animation, drag and drop it here on the side to Cinema 4D. Now you have the whole animation displayed here. And then you can go under Save, go to animation, change here to PNG, then Cinema 4D render for you the whole animation as PNG sequence. Alright, so in the next step, you can create a new material, drag and drop it on the display, open the material. So first we change some values in the material. Here we need roughness 0.4, and now we can search for texture, connect it here with the color, press the folder icon, and now you have here the PNG sequence. Select the first image, press open. Now you press here on animation, change to loop, press again here on the animation, and the whole animation have 175 images, so this is also the end frame. So, and if we move now the animation slider, it should be animated, but it isn't. We also have to connect the texture with the emission color. Go under emission and change the value to 4.5. You still see nothing, okay? And yeah, I reloaded the image again. So, and now it's visible and also animated. Alright, and in the end we add some light effects. Go under camera, lens effect, and under streak, press override so that the display glows. Play with the values, and that's it for the material part.
The animation.
Alright, now we came to the last part, the animation part. And first, we create a new null object, put the keyboard under it and the whole cell phone, copy and paste it, and make one invisible, because we will join it now. Connect object plus delete. Now we have one object and we can easily animate it. And the second one is a backup if you want to change later on something. Alright. So bring the animation slider to the beginning of the animation and let's start. First we increase the animation duration to 175 frames. And first we animate the cell phone position. Go here under the coordinates and first select the phone, press the keyframe button, bring the animation slider to the end, move now the cell phone down and press again the keyframe button. Now it's animated, and in the middle we change also a little bit the rotation to something like this. Now you have to press this both icons to create new keyframes, and now it's also rotating a little bit. Perfect. So now we animate the melting plastic. Bring the animation slider to the end of the animation, insert a keyframe, bring it now to the beginning and change the scale values to something small like this, and press again here the keyframe buttons on the side. So, and now it's animated. In the last step, we also insert a zoom effect. Go under camera, object, and press here the keyframe button in the beginning of the animation. Move the slider to
frame 70
and zoom in to something around 55. And now change also the position. And here you can also change the rotation to something like this. And now you have the whole animation. Perfect, guys. So in the end, we want that the whole animation is linear, of course. Go under Window, Timeline F-Curve, select all elements in our scene so that we see all animation curves. Press now Command A to select all and press the linear button. Perfect. And now the whole animation have the same speed in the beginning and in the end. And that's it. Well done, Artinvaders. If you enjoyed the video, please consider supporting me with a like, comment, or even a subscription. Thank you, Artinvaders. And we see us in the next
week.